Welcome to the channel and welcome to Warhammer 40k 8th edition. It's Raven Guard versus Tyranids. Today on the channel, the Raven Guard are sending an infiltration force down to this ugly planet, this bug planet, to retake Outpost 72. The Tyranids will be deploying on this side of the battle grid. It is spearhead deployment. They have swarmed that installation. They've murdered, death, killed everything inside of it. And I'll be deploying on that side. And the Raven Guard, swooping out of the Badlands, will be coming in on this side. This is a 1750 match play game from chapter approved 2018. Yes, we're playing one of the new missions. And this one is called Beachhead. Now, the way this works is, there's three objectives. Uno, dos, trois. Three objectives on the battle grid. And from the start of turn 2, this is my objective. So I'll get a point for securing that one at the start of my turn. 2 points for securing this one at the start of my turn, or 3 points if I manage to score that one at the start of my turn. Conversely, the Raven Guard will be doing the same thing. That's worth 1 to them, 2 to them, 3 to them. Basically, your own objective worth 1 point, the enemy's objective worth 3 points, but you score at the start of your battle round. So say, for example, at the start of my turn, I managed to swarm this objective here. Then my opponent can push me off of it, but they won't score it because it's at the start of the battle round. So essentially what I need to do is get on there before the start of turn 2 or turn 3, and then my opponent push me off of it so I don't score it at the start of my next turn. This one could go backwards and forwards. What potentially could happen is we could rack up lots of 1 point objectives and then ding-dong each other, this one in the middle of the battle grid, meanwhile trying to outflank and get around the side. Scoring at the start of your turn, start of every turn, means you have to get on these objectives by the end of your previous turn. You've got to think a turn ahead. And there is a first strike, not first blood, so you must kill something in turn 1, and you and your opponent can both score that, and slay the Warlord and Linebreaker. And remember, Linebreaker is getting into the deployment zone, not within the board edge, is in the deployment zone, and just one unit way back there. 1750 match play game, and we welcome back to the channel Nick. Say hi, Nick.
Hi, Nick.
Thank you for coming back down one more time with your Raven Guard.
Thank you for inviting me.
And I really appreciate the fact that you've come down again, because you've been on the channel once before.
Yep.
But you came down another time.
Yeah.
And we had a game versus Tyranids.
We did.
And I lost the footage.
You got lost in the warp.
You got lost in the warp. The machine spirit got angry in between transferring it from the camera to the computer, and it all went horribly wrong. And after playing an awesome game,
yeah,
I lost all that footage, and you've still decided to come back down and play.
It's a rematch.
So you're very forgiving. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this new match play mission, Beachhead? I think it's going to be very interesting.
It is. It's going to be a very back and forth battle, I think, over that centre objective.
Yeah. The acceptable casualties rule is in effect as well. So if one of us gets tabled, then you don't automatically win. So one person could overextend and get loads and loads and loads of points and then get tabled and then not lose. The other person would have to push out and try and get onto these objectives at the start of their turn to score them. So that's an interesting thing as well. I like the idea of the narrative, the Tyranids, High Fleet, Kraken busting their way out of here as the Raven Guard descend down from the sky. Couple more shout outs. This terrain comes from GameMat.eu. They're a European company. They make battle mats as well. The creators do this stuff. This battle mat, however, is from Hot Dice Miniatures. It's a double-sided battle mat. They're a Canadian land company. That's what's on the other side. So if you don't want the European shipping costs, Hot Dice Miniatures do the battle mats. And then this outpost terrain, this modular terrain, comes from laserterrain.co, which is a Kickstarter. It may be live right now. There's also corridor sections that they do. The dice and the objective markers available on deploymentzone.tv. If you want more Winter's SEO battle reports, then check out deploymentzone.tv. There's a chunk of stuff on there. I encourage you to join me and Liam in the deployment zone. Right, I think I said everything. Let's go and have a look at these armies. Right, this is 748 points of High Fleet Kraken. High Fleet Kraken roll 3d6 when they advance and they pick the highest. And when they fall back, they can still charge again. It is a battalion with a spearhead. That's the one with all the heavies. I've got 4 HQs down at the front. 2 Neurothropes. They went up in points from 70 to 90. This one's looking a little bit different because this one will be my Warlord. He is a Synaptic Linchpin. That's his Warlord trait, which means his synapse range goes from 12 to 18 inches. All 4 of these creatures are synapse creatures, which means for Tyranid players or for non-Tyranid players, so long as all of my little Gribblies are within 12 inches of these guys or 18 inches of my Synaptic Linchpin, I don't have to take morale tests. There's also something called Shadow in the Warp. So the enemy librarian will have -1 to cast when they're within 18 inches, and then there's instinctive behavior which kicks off at 24 inches, which hardly ever kicks off these days. I'll get to it if that ever happens. So Neurothrope Broodlord took a big loss in points, and the Turvagon, basically because I haven't seen her for a long time, so I thought I'd bring her along, and she went down about 20 points as well. Everyone's got Smite. These ones can cast 1. And the Neurothropes can cast 2, and I've put the spells Catalyst, Psychic Scream, Horror, I think that's Onslaught, spreading out the Psychic Love across there. I've got 2 units of 25 Little Bugs, 1 unit of 10 Little Bugs Termagants, and 1 unit of 12 Hormagaunts because of points. I did give the Turvagon, she's a character, so I can give her a Chameleonic Mutation. That's the relic. It's a High Fleet Kraken specific one, which means she's going to be -1 to hit when you shoot at her, which might keep her alive a bit longer because she's a character, but she's got 14 wounds. So you can target her. And I want to keep her alive because she can spawn more little bugs. She can spawn up to 10 more models into these guys. If they don't get entirely wiped out, say there's only 1 or 2 left, then I think it's at the start of my movement phase, she can put 10 more back in there. Or she can spawn a unit of 10 all on her own, a brand new unit, but you have to pay the points for that. And I am not paying the points for that. Reinforcing something that's been destroyed is free. Building a new unit pays the points. So I want to keep it alive. Chameleonic Mutation will help me to do that. -1 to hit. I've got some Venom Thropes, and they're -1 to hit, and all Tyranid units within 6 inches of them. If there's 3 in a squad, and there is, it also affects monsters as well. But as soon as there's 2 or only 1 there, it won't affect the monsters. That does stack with Chameleonic Mutation, which is nice. So there's a -1, there's a -1. I'm playing Raven Guard. They've got a lot of -1s. I thought I would borrow from their playbook. And the spore cysts on these 2 Screamer Killers here are -1 to hit when they shoot as well. I've got some Pyrovores because I haven't played with them in a while. Got some Gene Stealers because they're too good not to bring. And I've got an Exocrine and Tyrannofex with a Rupture Cannon in the backfield because that's pretty much my only Dakka, and I need some Dakka. So loads of little Gribblies, some -1 to hit shenanigans, which is what the Raven Guard are doing to me, so it only seems to be fair. A wave of little bugs and some Psychers. I think it's a fairly balanced list with some big bugs, little bugs, cardboard box, but I'm going up against a strong Raven Guard list, so let's go check it out. Right, this is just under 1750 points worth of the 19th Legion, the Raven Guard. It is a battalion and a spearhead. Yep, so that's 9 command points as well. And the Warlord for the army is not Shrike, you're telling me. Shrike is ceding control. Shrike is going to be jumping up the table, doing what he does best. Instead, you've ceded control to the chapter Ancient there. That banner absolutely must not stand. And this guy's been around for a long time, a few hundred years since the start of the Indomitus Crusade. And Shrike is saying, no, you take control, brother. Is that right?
That's exactly correct.
And you've got the Standard of the Emperor Ascendant there, which is an Ancient is when you die, you roll a dice, and normally on a 4-up, but with that Standard on a 3-up, you can fight or shoot again. It's just too good not to take. What Warlord trait did you give him?
Storm of Fire.
Storm of Fire. So 6 to wound and -1 AP?
Correct.
That's the best Warlord trait for Space Marines as well. Right, do you want to talk us through what else you got? What are we looking at? Oh, I should mention that Raven Guard are Any infantry or dreadnoughts are -1 to hit so long as you're more than 12 inches away.
Correct.
Yeah. So your entire army, so long as you're a bit further away from me, is harder for me to hit, and I haven't got very much shooting. Right. So where are we starting?
We'll start with a battalion.
Yep.
So we've got Shrike.
Yep.
Comes as standard, 150 points. Steel for what he gives. He's a chapter master, so re-rolling all misses really.
Yeah. Does he re-roll wounds as well?
No.
No, that's a Gulliman thing.
It is. So to his right
is
the lieutenant.
Okay.
He doesn't have the storm shield, but he does have a chain sword and bolt pistol, and I've spent a command point to give him the Teeth of Terror.
Teeth of Terror, that's a pimp chainsword.
Yeah.
Extra D3 attacks, -1 AP, couple of
2 damage,
so
plus strength.
Get rid of one of these. So you've got 2 relics, the special standard and the Teeth of Terror. I do like the Teeth of Terror. It's good.
It's good for chopping up bugs.
Right. What else we got?
So troop-wise, I've got 2 units of scouts, which will be travelling in land speed at Storms with heavy bolters.
Okay.
Each of the sergeants has a combi plasma.
Yep.
To the right, then you've got 5 scouts with sniper rifles.
Yep.
Chapter approved have dropped those slightly, which is quite nice. And then rounding out that detachment, we've got the nice aggressors.
This is a squad of 6.
It is a squad of 6.
All with bolt storm gauntlets and frag storm. It's a lot of Dakka with storm of fire.
Yes.
This is your hammer, and those are power fists as well.
They are. So they're no slouches in combat.
They are no slouches in combat. They should shred the little bugs and also the big bugs if I go charging in there because of all those power fists. Have to say, these minis are absolutely stunning. Who painted them? What's going on?
So Arclight Studios, he's on Facebook and Instagram. Andy, he does a fantastic job. He's more or less done all of my Raven Guard.
Arclight Studios. Have you painted any of these?
Not these ones.
So more or less all of your Raven Guard, specifically these guys. So 2 Typhoon missile launchers in the back as well.
Yes.
Land Speeder Storms, sorry. That's Land Speeder Typhoons. They've gone down in points.
They have. They haven't come out for a while, so I thought I'd give them a flyby.
It's more Dakka. So you need to reach out and touch long-range Dakka. So, and then this is the Spearhead.
This is the Spearhead, yes. Right. Primaris Librarian, running Might of Heroes and Null Zone.
Yep.
Then for the 3 heavy supports, we've got the Hell Blasters, 8 of them, just due to points. Yep. And then Contemptor Mortis Dreadnoughts, which I think are going to come into their own in this.
They've taken a points drop, and you've got 4 las cannons for about 168 points there, I think it is, right? Hitting on 2s because it's a Contemptor Mortis. So that's frightening work. And 2 of them. And also, let's not forget that Dreadnoughts benefit from the chapter tactic.
It's a -1 to hit.
Yeah, -1 to hit, so these guys can stay at the back, -1 to hit, and throw down a lot of firepower. And they come with a 5-up invulnerable save. You were telling me that like a unit of 5 Devastator las cannon guys is about as expensive as this guy.
They're 165 points for 5, yeah.
And this guy's how much?
168.
68 for a 5-up invulnerable save on a toughness 7 chassis with more wounds because he's got 10 wounds.
10 wounds.
Yeah, so why wouldn't you bring one of these? I like them. So absolutely stunning army. We've got some significant Dakka in the backfield, some mobility and some Dakka, and then some significant punch as well with the aggressors coming in, with Shrike coming in. 8 command points here left over after spending money on those 2 relics. This is a drop in your face and murder you list with some Dakka in the backfield. I like it. I like it very much. I do like Raven Guard. I like Raven Guard. Right, let's go on to deployment. And we're deployed for this 1750 point game of Beachhead, the new Eternal War mission from Chapter Approved 2018. And the way this works is one army gets to choose the deployment zone, which was Nick, and then I got to deploy my entire army first, and Nick will tell you, that took me some time.
There's a few thinkings.
Because typically when you deploy an army, you get to see where your opponent puts some stuff, so you can and there's a back and forth. There's a mini game that kicks off before you start deploying. But for now, I had to use every single one of my brain cells and put this down without knowing where anything else was going, and I kept moving stuff. So in the end, it's quite simple. We've got the Gene Stealers are off the table because they're in these infestation nodes, and there's 3 along the front line, 1 back. Because if they don't come in and these infestation nodes disappear, then I lose them. Basically, I'm allowed to deploy the Gene Stealers within 6 inches at the end of a movement phase, and that's their move. I didn't want them on the table because I would shoot them first. I've got the 2 distractions, Carnufexes, trying to be distracting, going up the centre of the table, and the 2 swarms here. And because I deployed everything first, I get to choose whether I go first or not. And if I give the turn to Nick, then he goes first. If I choose to go first, then he can choose to steal. We've got the Exocrine and Tyranids. Now the fire arcs are not good. The fire arcs are not good at all. I thought maybe about putting one over here, because I could have put one over here, but then the fire arcs are basically a tunnel, are a straight line, and as soon as something moves from left to right, I wouldn't be able to shoot it for the rest of the game. So I put them both here, and discovered, to my great surprise and delight, that I could hide the venom thropes back here, giving their 6 up -1 to hit stuff in there. So there's a nice little shooty castle. Loads of little swarms to go forward and do what little swarms do. And then I got paranoid about what Nick might do and whether there'd be stuff over there coming this way round. So I put the Broodlord, the Pyrovores, a Psyker, another unit around here, just in case he put stuff there. And as you can see, Nick didn't put anything there at all. So these guys are going to be out of position for a turn or 2. There's my Warlord. And this is what Nick did. We've got the 2 Typhoons on the right flank. The Scouts are in those storms on the left flank. And a big Castle of Dakar in the middle. And you said you spent 3 command points already on...
Strike from the Shadows.
Strike from the Shadows.
The Raven Guard stratagem now has changed from the big FAQ. I can't put them anywhere. It's now just a 9-inch Vanguard move. So once we decide who's going first and after steal, I can move the units that I've chosen, which in this case are the Aggressors, the Hellblasters and the Ancient, up to 9 inches.
Aggressors, Hellblasters and Ancient all get a free 9-inch move after the steal. So basically, if you steal the initiative, because I want to go first, please. Okay. You can come running forward, and if you don't steal the initiative, you can hide them, I guess. Yeah. Or just come forward anyway. So yeah, I'd love to go first. Thank you very much. I deployed everything first. Remember, we score these. This is worth 1 to me. This is worth 2 to me. And the objective in my opponent's deployment zone is worth 3. But I don't score it until the start of turn 2. And then the start of turn 3. And you score at the start of your turn, not at the start of a battle round. So that's going to be interesting. Lots of cover on the table. Craters and all these rock piles are -1. +1 to your cover save if you're in there. Craters, of course, are -2 if you go charging through there. So I did think about putting some Gene Stealers up here and moving them forward and then advancing and then potential first turn charge, but it had been -2 as soon as I hit that crater. And I knew Nick could do this thing where he could move right or left. So all he would have to do is just move out of the way and make my first turn charge impossible. Okay, so would you like to try and steal?
Yes, please.
Stealing's bad, Nick.
No, stealing in this case is good. No.
2. Okay, so I will be going first. Let's do your Scout redeploy thing, the Raven Guard sneakiness. So the Raven Guard have utilised their tactics to strike from the shadows, coming forward out of the storm, out of the mist. Nick, they're coming forward. Why aren't they going left or right? Why aren't they dodging for cover?
I have a plan, firstly. Secondly, they want that base.
They want the base. They want to take out post 72. And they are in cover. All of these units here will benefit from the +1 to their cover save because of the craters and the rubble. But the Raven Guard will not be slowed, will not be deterred by this swarm of High Fleet Kraken. Right, let's go on to Tyranids, turn 1. Here we are after Kraken's movement phase in turn 1, and boy, that took a long time. Again, basically I was thinking about staying back because the aggressors have an 18-inch range shot, and if they stay still, they shoot twice. And they were just outside 18-inch range, so for a good few minutes, maybe longer than that,
no comment.
I was and ahhing about staying back so that they couldn't shoot twice, they would have to move and shoot once. Stay back and then let them hit me when they move forward, but after I've shot away and blinked away and da-da-da. And then after and ahhing and thinking about it, I thought it wasn't very Tyranid of me. It's not very Tyranid at all, so I just decided to come forward, try and start swarming these objectives. These guys are now on that objective, so at the start of turn 2 I'll get 2 points unless they entirely get blown away. I did advance this Carnufex round here mainly to keep him out of line of sight. I could put Onslaught on him for a charge. So after advancing he could still charge, but I really need the smite. I really need to shoot and hurt some of these guys and then hit them with the smite train. Yeah, there's lots and lots of choices, lots of things I need to make. This is such a significant chunk to dig my way through, and then even after I've done that, there's some fast units in the backfield that can continue to plink away at me. So some of the units in the backfield moving around. Warlord is now hopped outside of outpost 72. Let's go on to the psychic phase. This Neurothrope has the horror, casting it on the aggressors. I need a 6. That's a 7. Librarian's back there, he can't deny it, so these aggressors are -1 to hit in their shooting phase. Then he's going to smite, try and smite them as well. And I get to reroll 1s for every friendly Venom Zoanthrope units within 6 inches of the Neurothrope, and he has the Zoanthrope keyword, so he can reroll that 1. And that's a pass. It will do D3 mortal wounds to the aggressors. For 1. Do I want to spend a command point? Yes, I do. I want to try and kill 1. For 3, it does kill 1 and drop a wound off another. So 1 dies, and we're on to the Raven Guard shooting phase, because with the Ancient...
With the Ancient nearby, on a 3+, he gets to shoot back, and he doesn't.
Oh. Are you thinking?
I am thinking. I'm going to use a CP to reroll them.
You've only got 5 command points left.
We're Raven Guard if we start off with 3.
Okay.
It's,
one of them gets to fire. So before one of them dies, because they haven't moved, they're firing twice into the swarm of bugs that are holding on to that objective, which is 12 dice with the Bolt Storm Gauntlets and 2d6 extra shots with the Frag Storm for Snake Eyes. But that's still 14 shots. They will be hitting on 4s because they're horrified, but they're re-rolling 1s and 2s because they are within 6-inch range of Shrike. And re-rolling those 1s and 2s. There's 3 3s, so that horror worked a little bit. Oh, 4 3s. It worked a lot. Okay, so some hits. Strength 4, toughness 3, wounding on 3s. And you said you're out of range of the Lieutenant for now.
Yes.
So you've hit 5 of them.
The 6 is AP -1. Okay.
Oh, the AP minus. Well, I didn't even know why I rolled that. The AP minus, that's a dead one. And then these are 6s. You kill 4 bugs. Remaining psychic powers. My Warlord, the Broodlord, are out of range to smite. And because he took away that one on the right, the Turbogon is out of range to smite. So the Turbogon might as well cast Onslaught on this Carnufex, which is a Perils. And I've spent a command point in the... I've already spent a command point in the psychic phase. So I'll do D3 mortal wounds to myself for 1 mortal wound to myself. But this Carnufex will be able to charge even though it advanced. Last psychic power, I'm going to cast the Catalyst on the Exocrine. Need to keep it alive. And that's a pass. Need a 6. So that's a 5-up ignore damage on the Exocrine. Right, opening up the shooting phase, both of the Carnufexes unloading into the aggressor squad. I've killed 1. I killed 1. Just 1 wound on this one. Will he fire with the Ancient? No, he doesn't get to fire. 2 aggressors down. That's nice. Right, I've got 2 things left to fire. The Exocrine and the Tyranids, and I really need first strike. You have to kill something in turn 1. And the Tyranids cannot see either of the land speeders because line of sight is a thing. So that means I'm either firing Tyrannifexes and Exocrines at the aggressors. I've started, so I'll finish. Or go and shoot one of the las cannon dreadnoughts in the backfield because that's the thing that is going to shoot my big bugs in return. So I don't know. So I'm going to let the dice gods decide. On a 1, 2, 3, I'm going to hit the aggressors. Nope. Rupture cannon going at dreadnought in backfield. It would be 4s to hit, but because you're Raven Guard and you're more than 12 inches away, it's 5s to hit. And it would be 3 shots, but because the Tyrannifex stayed still, he fires twice. So everything at that Contempt to Mortis Dread, and I hit twice. Strength 10, your toughness less than 10, so I'm wounding on 3s. And I wound twice. It's AP minus quite a bit, but you get a 5-up invulnerable save, which you make both of them. The Dreadnought stands firm. What a legend. Okay. Exocrine then is going to have to put all of his shots into the aggressors, hoping this works. Exocrines have 6 shots, but it goes up to 12 if they stayed still, and they hit on 3s if they stayed still. But I'm hitting on 4s because of Raven Guard. So 12 shots hitting on 4s into these aggressors. That's a pretty good spread of hits. 8 hits, strength 7 versus toughness 5, wounding on 3s, and that's 7 wounds at minus 2 AP, 2 damage. But you're in a crater, so you have 7 5-up saves to make. You make 3, fail 4, that's the squad. That's first strike, but they get to fire on 3s because of the Ancient. What are you thinking?
Reroll 1.
You could reroll 1, 5-up, keep them alive, deny me first strike. Beautiful thing, you deny me first strike. I've got no more guns coming at you. Oh, the sergeant's left alive. And then you fire on 3s. Oh no. Oh no. And that's the end of the shooting phase for High Fleet Kraken. Then I declared a charge against the Hellblasters from this Carnufex. And I rolled a 3, so I failed my charge. And Nick gets to Overwatch. And with rerolling to hit, because Shrike was there, I took 2 wounds off my Carnufex as well as losing that charge. And that's the end of turn 1. Now losing 5 of these aggressors is a heavy, heavy blow. They don't have to take morale tests because that Ancient is stood next to them, standing firm, shouting out that banner, must not fall. Losing 5 aggressors is a heavy blow, but that's all they lost. The Land Speeders are untouched, the Hellblasters are untouched, the 4 Las Cannon Dreadnought in the backfield is untouched, and the assault on Outpost 72 is about to begin. Let's go on to Raven Guard turn 1. And here we are after the Raven Guard's movement phase. Chapter Master Shrike orders the outflanking speeders to zero in on his position. Everyone will be benefiting from his reroll aura. And priorities are clear. He needs to clear away this squad of bugs here to blow them off the objective. Alternatively, he could just let me get those points and throw lots and lots of Daka into the swarm. And of course, I've got 2 big guns in the backfield, which absolutely must die. So let's go on to the psychic phase. The Librarian, by moving in very carefully, is closer to this Carnufex here, outside of Shadow of the Warp range, rolling for Smite. And that's a super Smite. You're in denial range of this, outside of Shadow of the Warp. I need a 12. Oh no. I get an 11. I don't beat it. So D6 mortal wounds on the Carnufex for 2.
I'm going to let it
You're going to let it go?
Yeah.
Okay, that Carnufex is down to 4 wounds already. What are you doing with your second psychic power? In Might of Heroes, you could make one of those Dreadnoughts toughness 8 or something.
I think the Dreadnought at the back of the Las Cannons.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, Might of Heroes on the Dread. That fails. I think you need a 6 for Might of Heroes.
At this point in time, I'm quite happy for that.
Yeah, he took 6 ruptured cannons to the face and he was absolutely fine last turn. Right, so that's the psychic phase over. Let's shoot some guns for the Emperor. Right, in the shooting phase, these Land Speeder Storms are open-topped. We've already fired the 2 units of scouts inside, and each of them killed 3 of the bugs on the central objective. And these Storms have a heavy bolter each. We're going to fire them together. They're hitting on 4s because they're heavy, but re-rolling 1s and 2s because you're right next to Shrike. So you can re-roll those 4 misses. That comes in handy. 4 hits in total. These are strength 5 versus toughness 3, so you're going to wound on 3s. But at AP minus 1, I don't get a save.
And because the Lieutenant, re-rolling the 1.
4 wounds, which I don't get a save. What I'm going to do is take the ones outside of the terrain, so I might get saves in future shooting attacks. And it looks like this. Now the Mortis Contemptor Dreadnought with twin Kerry's assault cannons is spooling up and firing round after round. It's heavy, so instead of hitting on 2s, you're hitting on 3s. And you're re-rolling 1s, but not 2s, because you apply the re-roll and then the modifier. So 11 hits, that's not bad. Strength 7 this gun, I'm toughness 3. So you're winning on 2s. And re-rolling 1s because the lieutenant. And it's all AP -1, right?
Except for that 6.
That 6 is Storm of Fire, so that's -2. So I don't get a save, because right now I've got a 5-up save in the train. But this is now a 6-up save. So 1's already dead, plus any 6s. I saved 3. 7 died in total because of that Storm of Fire wound. Still 4 remaining. Beginning to run out of gun. Can that aggressor reach out and touch?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Certainly can. I think it's probably the only thing he can shoot at. Okay, so he stayed still, that sergeant, that hero.
He did.
So that's 12 shots plus 2d6.
Correct.
Let's do the 12 shots first. That'll probably be enough. And he's hitting on
3s, 4s because of the horror.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Rerolling 1s and 2s.
So he hit 11 times. Okay, great. He's wounded on 3s and re-rolling 1s because of lieutenant. No Storm of Fire, but I've got 5-up saves to make. Wow. I make 3. Or I fail 3. I've got 1 bug left. Then 7 shots from the frag storm launcher came in. That bug got wiped out, clearing away the central objective. So at the start of my next turn, I'll only ever be able to score 1 point. But more importantly, you've got first strike.
Yeah.
Scout snipers unloading on the neurothroat back here, trying to take away some of the synaptic synapse.
Yeah, that works.
Hitting on 3s and re-rolling 1s and 2s because of Shrike. Everything hits. So strength 4 versus toughness 4. And that 6 is a mortal wound in addition. So I'm losing a wound automatically, and I have 4 3-up and vulnerable saves to make, which I fail 1. So I take 2 wounds on the neurothrope. It's got 3 left. Mortis Contemptor Dreadnought is unloading on the exocrine back here with 4 las cannons, hitting on 2s. And actually hitting on 3s because of the venom throats back here with -1 to hit. But everything hit. That's good shooting, Tex. Strength 9 versus toughness 8. And 2 wounds get through. You've got 3 command points left?
Yeah.
Thinking about it. I can smell the cogs whirring in your brain. Okay, 3 wounds get through. That's -3, so I need 6s to save. I don't save any. So that's going to be 3d6 damage. And that's only 7. And I have Catalyst on this thing. So 7 5-ups. I save 2 of them. So I take 5 wounds. From the Dreadnought across to this Typhoon here. Within 6-inch range of Shrike. Putting everything into the exocrine. Desperate to plink 1 more wound off it. So its ballistic skill is reduced. So what are we doing first?
So we're doing the crack missiles first.
Okay.
So I moved, so it's 4s.
Which re-roll everything.
Yep.
But you can't re-roll the 3.
I can't re-roll the 3.
So that hit, because it would be a 5 actually, because of the venom trope. So 1 hit. Oh. Strength 8 versus toughness 8. That's a wound at -2. So I need a 5. And make the save. And then we've got 3 heavy bolters coming in as well.
5s.
Reroll the 1. Okay, 2 hits. And then 5s to wound. No wounds. So those shots go wide. Now the one back here, we measured up, the heavy bolter can't hit the exocrine, but the missiles can. So where are you putting the heavy bolter?
So the heavy bolter is going to go into the Carnufex in the front.
Is
just
it?
To see if I can get some.
Okay.
Of it. So go for the crack missiles first.
Yes,
so
against
5s.
the exocrine. And we roll 1s and 2s because of Shrike. That's 1 hit. Strength 4, toughness 4. That's a wound. 5-up save. No. D6 damage for 3 damage. Remember, just 1 wound off of this thing and you reduce its ballistic skill, but I have Catalyst. And I make 2 of them. However, my wounds are now down to 6, which means my ballistic skill has dropped. So you haven't killed it in this round of shooting, but you have reduced its firepower. You have reduced its ability to strike back. Right, the Raven Guard are running out of gun, but the Hellblasters are yet to speak. Now, they are in rapid fire range of the Carnufex, but it'll be -1 to hit. Or they're in long range of the exocrine back here. So 1 shot apiece on the exocrine at -1, or 2 shots apiece at -1 on the Carnufex. But you probably don't need to overcharge to kill the Carnufex because there's 18 shots coming in. But you probably will need to overcharge to hit the Exocrine. So what target, sir?
I'm going to go for the Exocrine.
Yeah.
I'm going to overcharge.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to kill themselves.
They're not going to kill themselves. You will get to reroll. Okay, all right then. So 8 shots coming in at the Exocrine. You can do it all at the same time, I guess.
Yep.
Hitting on 4s. Well, you're hitting on 3s, then re-rolling 1s and 2s, and then we apply the modifier.
Yep.
So re-roll those 4 1s and 2s. And then 1 dies, 1 overcooks. That becomes a minus. That's okay.
That's a 2.
That's a 2. That's okay. There's one that's dead. Can he still get to shoot? Use the ancient thing?
He can.
Oh, okay, brilliant. All right.
We'll add in his shots in.
Okay.
He's going to overcharge at the X-Screen.
Okay.
If he gets to shoot, which he doesn't, so he just dies.
Okay.
So strength 8.
Toughness 8, yes. I won't get a save to this. It's -4.
6s become -5.
Oh. Oh dear.
And then re-roll them 1s.
Because of?
The lieutenant.
Alright, so all 6 wounds get through. That's 2 damage each. I've got Catalyst. Alright, mini Catalyst saves. I need to make more than 6 of these. No, the Exocrine is dead. He goes nuts on a 6. He doesn't go nuts, but that's my Primaris killer brought down. Then the Ancient fired his bolt rifle at the Carnufex, didn't do any damage, and that is the end of Ravenguard's turn 1. You have first strike. You've taken out one of my big guns. I have no morale tests to take because Synapse is a thing for Tyranids. So let's go on to Hive Fleet Krakens, turn 2. Here we are after the movement phase for Hive Fleet Kraken. The Hive Mind advances. Things are about to get ugly. I get a point for securing this objective down here at the start of my turn. You've got a point for first strike, so it's 1 point each. I've decided to keep the Termagants back here with the Hormogaunts. That might be the other way around that these guys are called. Just in case you unload loads of heavy bolters through the gap and wipe this squad out, then I've got another squad of troops that can just jump on here, making sure I get those points one after the other after the other. And there was a lot of advancing going on. The Pyrovores advancing, the Neurothropes and the Broodlords advancing. I just remembered I forgot to get the Gene Stealers out. Can I get the Gene Stealers out? They were definitely coming out. Thanks, Nick. The Gene Stealers have popped out of the infestation node right in front of the gateway to Outpost 72, next to the Venom Thropes, which I decided to move forward. I know he can shoot at them, but I need to keep the bubble going. So that's why the Gene Stealers popped out, because the Venom Thropes are a -1 to hit for the Gene Stealers, the little bugs, the Turvagon, the Tyrannofex. I've got my bubble going, which is quite nice. And let's not forget that the -1 to hit from the Venom Thrope stacks with the Chameleonic Skin, which is on the Turvagon, so she's -2 to hit. And then the swarm of little bugs in front ran across to try and get on this objective. The Carnufex is busting forward, this one advancing, so we can't charge unless I manage to get Onslaught off. So let's go on to the Psychic phase. And this Turvagon is casting Onslaught on that Carnufex. And that passes on an 8. So if you want to deny it, it's a 9. And you probably need to, because otherwise there's 2 Carnufexes charging you instead of 1. Do you want to deny it?
Yes, please.
Okay. Nope, that doesn't deny. So that one can charge, even though advanced. Let's continue with the Smite train. Catalyst. Let's put Catalyst on the same one, because I think he's in trouble. I need a 6, and that passes. So that one there will have 5 up ignore damage. And then the other Neurothrope will do the horror on the Hellblasters. -1 to hit with the Hellblasters. That fails. Spending a command point on a reroll. And that fails. Oh no. Okay, down to 7 command points left. But basically I wanted their overcharging plasmas to burn on a 1 or 2. But it's not. No, you deny my psychic mastery. So that's Catalyst, the horror, Onslaught. Right, I've got a couple of other things. Both of these guys have got a power left, and he's got Psychic Scream. So let's go Psychic Scream with the Broodlord. Oh dear, the Broodlord. And I've already spent a command point on a reroll in the Psychic phase. The Broodlord takes D3 mortal wounds for 1. At least it's only 1. So let's smite with the Neurothroat. Pass on a 5. And D3 for 2 mortal wounds. I think your Hellblasters are closest. Which means they get to fire on a 3-up, right?
Yep.
Oh no, they get to fire. Are you overcharging? You're dead anyway, you might as well.
I'm overcharging on the injured Carnufex.
Okay. -1 to hit still because of Spore Cysts.
So I get to re-roll that one?
Yep.
Nope.
One hit.
Just 1 hit.
Strength?
8.
Toughness 7. That's a
minus
wound.
5.
-5. 2 damage. How many wounds got left? He had 4. He's got 2 left. Okay. So if I kill another one of these in the psychic phase, you're probably gonna kill... Do I want to do smite now? See, my warlord could smite, but what I could do is not smite, fire stuff back there and make sure I've got the double... No, let's just smite you. Smite, that passes. D3 mortal wounds on the Hellblasters. For 2 mortal wounds on the Hellblasters, killing 1 more, which fires back on a... Yeah, he fires back. That Ancient Banner thing is good. I need me ones of them. Re-rolling.
6.
2 hits.
2 DZ logos.
Target acquired. 3s to wound. That's a dead Carnufex.
And re-roll because of Lieutenant.
That's a doubly dead Carnufex. You take out one of these beasts. Okay, that's the end of Kraken Psychic Phase. Something of mine died in my Psychic Phase. I didn't get the horror off. Right, let's shoot some guns. Tyranids is now going to unload his Rupture Cannon downtown. And I'm thinking about... See, there's so many targets. That twin-linked las cannon dreadnought is clearly a target, but he's got 12 shots with his Kerris guns, and he's going to murder my troops more than any of the heavy bolters. And then there's the Hellblaster still. The decisions. 1, 2, 3, I'm going to shoot that guy. Come on, Dice Gods, what am I shooting? No! The Dice Gods say I'm shooting the Mortis Contemptor with all the las cannons in the back. With my Rupture Cannon on my Tyranids, hitting on 5s because you're Raven Guard. I get 2 hits, that's not bad. I am strength 10. I'll wound you on 3s. I get 1 wound. On 5-up invulnerable save. Nope, this time it goes 3 for D6 damage. 6 damage. The big fat 6. Then the Stinger Salvo fired out and missed. The Stinger Salvo on the Turbogon fired out and missed. The couple of little bugs at the front that could fire in didn't wound because you're in a crater. Last thing left to fire that can reach out and touch is this Carnufex. It did advance, but I get D6 shots, which is 1 shot. And because I advance, it's an assault weapon, I'm hitting on a 5 and I'm aiming at the Hellblasters. And he hits, and it is strength 7. And it wounds at -3, so you get a 5-up save because you're in the crater, which is safe. And that is the end of my shooting phase. I hurt you more in the psychic phase. You hurt me more in the psychic phase. But this thing is halfway down. That -1 to hit on Raven Guard, particularly with an army that mainly hits on 4s, is difficult. However, we're a long way from over. And now this Carnufex is going to charge. I'm going to charge me some Hellblasters. Would you like to overcharge when you overwatch?
Yes.
They're not horrified.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, you got 5 left.
Yeah, I'm going to have to...
2 at a time.
Yep.
You got the Shrike there. No? Do you want to see? Do you have to reroll?
You don't have to, I don't think.
Let's check that rule, because you're just as likely to get 1s as you are 6s, and then you only really need to reroll the 1s. What did we discover, Nick?
You can reroll. Don't. It's not you have to.
Doesn't say you must. So you can reroll it if you want to. Do you want to reroll it?
The thing is, you're just as likely to get a 1 as you are a 6. So in that result, I might just leave that one as it is.
But if you get 1s, then you could shoot me anyway. And what are they going to do when the Carnufex charges them? They're going to get
eaten. Punch him in the face.
They're going to get eaten.
Okay.
Hashtag don't listen to winners.
Hashtag let's see if that's true.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, you're okay.
I'm okay.
Right, that's the first one. Rerolling the 1. Okay, so 1 hit so far.
2 hits.
2 hits. Oh no. You can reroll?
Yeah, I can, can't I?
Tempted. No. No. No deaths, no hits. Double ones.
I'm going to reroll those.
Okay.
No,
so you didn't lose any Hellblasters, but you did get 2 hits in. Which gets you to strength 8. My toughness is 7, so you're winning on 3s. And they both wound.
-5.
But -5 because of Storm of Fire. 2 damage each, which is 4 damage. Oh, I got the Catalyst. I got Catalyst. 5 up saves. I make 1. He takes 3 damage. He's down to 5 wounds left. And now I need me to charge. Now it's -2 to charge, so this isn't automatic because it's -2 for units going through a crater. So, oh yeah, I'm in. Crunch, the Screamer Killer comes bowling forward, and on a 4-up, it does a mortal wound with crushing charge. That's a mortal wound. I made sure I put it over this side to stay away from any heroic interventions. So one of them's already wounded. Typically they hit on 4s, but on the charge they hit on 3s. 2 sets of monstrous siding talons means I can re-roll 1s, and so I roll 3 2s. Strength 6. Wounding on 3s. 2 wounds at -3, a flat 3 damage each. So 2 6s. No, 2 of them die. And then on 3s, they get to shoot as if it was the shooting phase or make a single attack. Now, because it says shoot as if it was the shooting phase, they can't shoot their plasma guns. Because in the shooting phase, you can't shoot plasma guns within an inch of an enemy model. Unless you take the 2 away who are not engaged, who are not within an inch. Yeah, that works.
That's intriguing.
That is intriguing. Well, does it say the model or...
It's model.
The model. So if you take these models away, they're not within an inch of the enemy target, and as if it were the shooting phase for the model, for the unit they couldn't do it, but for the I'm happy for you to do that. They go down, pulling the gun of their plasma incinerator as they fall. This guy obviously... That's it's per model. I'm happy with that. Comments below. Can you do this when you fall using the standard? Please let us know. I think it's really cool, whether you can or not. I think you can, and I like the idea. He's falling backwards, chugging away.
Shooting underneath.
Yeah. See if you can kill this Carnufex in return.
Overcharging, obviously.
Really? Do you want to re-roll the 2? He's dead anyway. Okay, so 1 hit. 2 hits. He's only got 4 wounds left. This could do it. 3's to wound. It ain't going to do it.
Nope.
It isn't going to do it unless you spend a command point on that 2.
No, I've only got 2.
No?
Yeah, enough.
I think you're going to shoot him anyway. Yeah. I make one of the saves, so that kind of effect.
Winters.
Okay, so
sorry.
I don't make... Oh, no, that was my catalysts.
Oh,
that's why I was rolling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. He makes a catalyst save. He's got 3 wounds left. 2 of the Hellblasters die. And now you get to fight back. Is the sergeant still alive?
I think I've just pulled him.
so that's 6 attacks.
6 attacks.
And you hit on 3s?
Hit on 3s, re-rolling.
Yep.
Because of strike.
Yep.
So.
Okay, re-rolling everything. Everything hits. And then you're wounding on 5s. And re-roll any 1s. No 1s. 3 get through. I have 3 3-up saves. Fail 1. Catalyst. I fail that. The Carnufex is down to 2 wounds left. Are you fearless because you're next to the banner?
It is true.
That is true. Okay, nice. So that's the end of my fight phase. I don't think you've got any morale left to take. I've put a distraction Carnufex right up in your lines. Do you remember when they were a thing in 4th and 5th edition? They were such a distraction. You had to deal with them. That was before Tervagons or Tyranifexes or any... This was the biggest bug that you had in the NID thing. And people would bring 6 of them and throw them at you like bowling balls and oh my. Anyway, so that's what I've done. I've put one right up in your grill. I have a point. We're going to go on to Raven Guard turn 2. You'll get a point for that one automatically. So it will be 2 points to 1.
And I need to bring out the big can of bug removal spray.
Yeah. Time to bring on the can of raid. Let's go on to 19th Legion, turn 2. Here we are after the Raven Guard movement phase. Nick thought about jumping Shrike up and over and putting him into the blender of all the teeth and the claws, but not yet. Maybe next turn. He figured with Shrike back there using his ability to re-roll everything, all the shots coming out will probably do more damage than Shrike himself. And let's face it, Shrike is going to get in combat at some point in this game because I'm going to come charging towards him. Meanwhile, he broke out, fell back with the Hellblasters, so they won't be shooting this turn. He debated about leaving them in there and maybe smiting the Carnufex away, and then they would be able to shoot. But Nick said, my luck.
Yeah,
you need a lot
knowing
of...
me, it probably won't work out like that.
Yeah.
This makes it more or less a sure thing.
Yes, but you did step back, a couple of steps back with the Primaris Librarian just to get out of the shadow of the warp range so his brain isn't aching so much. And the Land of Speed of Storms, taking advantage of the fly keyword, jumping up there. There's no way I'm going to be able to scrabble up there. Plus there's units inside that can fire out because of the open top rule. And it does mean that I'm going to be hitting storms with Smite rather than some of the juicy stuff back in the castle. So some good tactical play. Let's go on to the psychic phase. Right, Primaris Librarian casting Smite. Needs a 5. And that's, I can deny, I am in 24, but I'm going to need an 8. That isn't a deny. And
66% chance. That's 2.
Target acquired.
3.
Carnufex is dead, but I've got Catalyst on him, so 3 5-up Catalyst saves. Carnufex is dead. You could have stayed in combat there.
Hindsight is a wonderful thing.
It is a wonderful thing, isn't it? What else are you doing with your Primaris Librarian?
Might of Heroes on the Dreadnought at the back.
Okay.
Keep it alive a bit longer.
And that passes. Have I got another guy up here? Let's see if I have, because I just denied it. Yes, all 3 of these Psykers are in 24-inch range of the Primaris Librarian, so no toughness 8 Dreadnought. That's the end of the psychic phase. Now we're going to shoot some guns. Where are we starting? I'm a bit scared actually because
4 las cannons.
Right.
Into the Carnufex, please.
Into this guy.
Yeah.
Okay, -1 to hit because of the venom throats. You sure you don't want to shoot the venom throats first? With some other guns.
The issue is.
Yes.
I don't have that many other guns.
Right. Okay.
And they're not really doing much at the moment.
Okay. So now we've taken a couple of damage as well.
Yeah,
what are you hitting on?
Skill.
Is he?
So it's 3s and then 4s, but I can reroll 1s and 2s.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Everything hit anyway. Everything hit. Strength 9, toughness 8, and rerolling the 1s because you backstepped with the low. Yeah. Two moons, 2 6-up saves. I failed them both. 2d6 damage. And that's 9. That's quite significant. Which leaves the Tyranids with 5 wounds left, which means his ballistic skill is a 5-up, hitting on 5s, firing at Raven Guard, hitting on 6s. You pretty much nerfed him for the rest of the game. What else are you shooting at?
I'm going to go for the aggressor now into the small bugs.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Into these guys?
Yep.
Okay. They are in range of the venom throats, so it will be -1 to hit. But you got 12 shots because you stayed still with your Storm Gauntlets, plus 2d6 with the other thing. Yeah, so these are the wounds. The 6s with Storm of Fire, I'll get no save whatsoever, and the other shots I get saves against. 7 6-ups. I make 1, plus the other 3. That's 9 dead bugs. It looks like this. Now the Contemptor Mortis Keras Assault Cannon wielding Dreadnought is going to spool up and fire into them as well. Basically you don't want to leave a couple of bugs left because then I will just spawn into them. Once you start on a big unit of Gants, you need to kill every single one. So would be hitting on 2s, you stood still, but hitting on 3s because of the Venom Throats and re-rolling 1s.
And 2, no 1s.
Just the 1s, not the 2s. Then we apply the modifier, take the 2s away. And you're wounding on 2s because it's very, very powerful. Ripping through armoured vehicles and things like that. So no 6s there, but all of these are at -1. So this is a thing, because what you do is you take the save one at a time. So I can take the saves on these 2. This is a real thing. I got criticised about this quite a lot in the YouTube video, but it's a definite tournament tactic and it's what people do. So that's 2 of the saves gone. Now the rest of them are in cover. That's a real thing, honestly. You're a tournament player.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, what?
6s. And it helps me save 1 more. Then the Occupants and one of the Land Speed of Storms fired in at the Termagants, and there's only 4 left. What are you doing with the other spawn?
Storm. I'm going to do exactly the same thing.
Into these?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we firing first?
We're actually going to go with the Occupants first.
Okay.
So the Sergeant has a Combi Plasma.
Right.
So 1 hit
because of
the venom through.
Still -1 to hit, still within 6-inch range of the venom.
2's to kill.
1 is dead, so there's only 3 left. I see. So if you kill them with the occupants, then the transport can shoot at something else.
Exactly.
I like it. Rapid firing, hitting on 4s because of the venom trope. 5 hits. Wounding on 3s. How many wounds?
4 wounds.
4 wounds. I am in cover, so 4 5-up saves. Oh. And I make all of them. Wow. I guess I know where the storm's going, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So heavy bolt first, hitting on 5s because I'm moved and -1.
1 minute. Let's measure this. I might have taken the wrong bug away. Yeah, I did. Mistakes were made outside of the venom throat range, but it is heavy, so it's hitting on 4s.
It's actually 5s.
5s? Why?
Because the weapon skill, blister skill is only 4.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you hit on 5s with a heavy bolter, and you get 1 hit. And you're wounding on a 3, and you get a wound. It's -1, but +1 for the thing. Is a failed one. I'll take this one because I know that this one is still in range of her to spawn back in, but you want to kill every single one.
And then the Cerberus launcher is heavy D6, so 3 shots. Hitting on 5s.
Oh no.
Trip 1s, you know.
Trip 1s. 2 little bugs are still standing. That's important because she can spawn just 10 more straight back in there. So I think you're going to have to divert some of your Typhoon firepower, which you really, really didn't want to do. Just to kill these little bugs. Mind you, let's face it, once you've got rid of the 50 screen that I have in front, then next round you're going to be punching into characters and gene stealers and things like that. So it's not wastage fire yet. Right, deciding to fire the missiles from the Typhoon into the venom thropes and the heavy bolter into these guys here. This is the heavy bolter.
Heavy bolter first.
3's to hit. And re-rolling, you don't need the re-roll. So strength 5, toughness 3. 2 wounds at -1. So 2 6-up saves because I'm in a crater. Nope. And you kill both of the last of that swarm. No more respawning for me. And then 2 missile launchers going into these guys. You didn't move, but you hit on 4s because they're venom throats.
Can re-roll for 2?
Yes.
No, that misses.
And they both miss. Crack missiles from the Typhoon into the Neurothrope, who's looking a bit exposed. The one who isn't my Warlord.
2 hits.
2 hits.
Toughness 4.
Strength 8, toughness 4, yeah.
2 wounds.
2 wounds. 2 3-up invulnerable saves. And these do D6 damage a time. And I make them both. So 3 miss.
Heavy bolters?
Heavy bolters, yeah. 3's to hit. Everything hit. 3's to wound. Rerolling the 1 because the lieutenant. I remember you measuring up so carefully. Yeah. 1 wound gets through, 1 3-up and bun, which I make. Okay, so the first shots from the Typhoon do not bring him down. Are you going to do again with the same? It is a smite. Oh, you have shot the second one, yeah.
So all I've got now is my Ancient and my Scouts.
The Scouts, he's floating very high, so you can shoot them with the Scouts if you want to.
Yep.
They took 2 wounds off him last turn. Maybe they've got their eye in now.
Rerolling those.
Rerolling to hit. So everything hits with the sniper weaponry. 4's to wound.
Rerolling the 1.
Rerolling the 1, yeah. Okay, so 1 auto mortal wound in addition to the 3 saves.
-1.
So 3 invulnerable saves, 2 wounds to get through after that mortal wound, that sniper shot. And I failed 2 of them. So I think I'm going to have to spend a command point to reroll because that's a smite right there. And it's, I forget which psychic power. Oh, that one's got the horror, which is -1 to your shooting attacks. So let's command point reroll this, try and keep it alive. It doesn't keep it alive, you take down the first of my synapse creatures. Then the Ancient fired out, last gun in the army, ricocheting off the Brood Lord's hide, and that is the end of the shooting phase. And that was pretty successful. It's going to be a very different turn from here on in, because the Exocrine's gone. This thing is now going to be hitting on 6s. And all of my screen is gone. So I've got characters and elites and things like that. Now, you've got 2 points, I've got 1 point, and you're going to charge. You're going to charge with the Land Speeder Storm, because at the start of my turn, I would get 2 points for holding the central objective. And if you make this charge, and now with the change to the fly keyword, it's 7 inches. So good luck. I don't have any Overwatch. And that's a 3. 2 command points left. You want to re-roll the 1? And you're going to leave it with me.
I think.
Because you got 2. At the start of my turn, I'm going to get 3, 4, 5. Oh no, I've got 1 at the moment, sorry.
You get an extra 3.
Yeah, I'll get an extra 3. So it'll be 4, 2 at the start of my turn 2.
They're semi-safe up there anyway from charges, so...
And if you bring it down, it would be 2, 2. And they are safe.
Ish.
Yeah, and you would need to roll a 5 if you re-rolled that 1.
Which is only 33% chance, so...
You re-roll him?
No.
No?
Not this time.
Not this time.
Not this time.
I get you next time. So that's the end of Raven Guard. Turn 2. At the start of Tyranids Turn 3, it's 4 points to 2, because I have the objective in my deployment zone plus the central one, and Gene Stealers and Broodlord are advancing up the table along with the Turvagon. Gene Stealers and Broodlord can charge after they advanced. She's got Onslaught, so she can charge if I get that psychic power off. And I'm hugging on to this central objective one more time. Pyrovores will also be able to bring their weapons to bear. It does mean my backfield is looking a bit naked. And remember, if Nick manages to get all the way down onto this objective back here, it is worth 3 points to the opponent. Just as if I get to that one over there, it'll be worth 3 points to me. So let's go into the psychic phase and try and make these Raven Guards scream. Onslaught on the Turvagon. That passes. She can charge now.
Can I deny, please?
Yes, that's a 7 you need, sir.
Okay.
And you deny me. Okay, she won't be charging. Instead, you're just going to get charged by Broodlord and Gene Stealers. However, before I do so, let's smite with the Broodlord. I don't know who's the closest, but I need a 5. That passes. D3 mortal wounds on something. 2. Let's measure up and find out what that hits. Horizontally, the storm is closer, but you measure base to base, so it's going to hit the aggressor. And on a 3, the aggressor fires. The aggressor does not fire, and I think you do, with all those Gene Stealers coming straight at you. Yes, the aggressor is going to fire at these Gene Stealers. 2d6 shots is 5, plus the 16 he's already got. That's
12.
12 he's already got. That's 17 shots. And you're hitting on 3s. I am in range of the Venom Thrope, so I must remember to cast Catalyst first all the time. So 4s to hit, because this would be less painful. Rerolling 1s and 2s. You didn't get any 3s. Everything hit. 17 shots hit. This is going to be painful. Should have definitely done Catalyst on the Gene Stealers first. 4s to wound. Rerolling 1s because the Lieutenant. Ouch. 10 wounds got through. 10 5-up invulnerable saves on the Gene Stealers, and I saved 4 of them. On with the psychic phase. Let's put Catalyst on the Gene Stealers. 6. That passes. Then Smite. It's going to hit one of these storms. And that passes. Does D3 mortal wounds on Storm. For 2. That's it for the psychic phase. Spending a command point on Power of the Hive Mind, so my Broodlord can now do an extra psychic power. He did Psychic Scream. Now he's going to Smite. It's going to hit the Contemptor. This needs a 6 to cast, however. That's an 11. That's a Super Smite. Brilliant. D6 mortal wounds on the Contemptor. For 1, another command point. For 6, 6 mortal wounds on the Contemptor with the power of the Hive Mind. So in the shooting phase, the Stinger salvo from the Trigon flickered out, did nothing. We're on to the Pyrophores. I'm going to try and melt one of these storms, the one that just got smitten with these Pyrophores. They're assault weapons, so I can move forward and shoot them. And auto-hitting D6 times each for that many auto-hits. Strength 5 versus Toughness 5, winning on 4s. And it's AP -1, and storms only have a 4-up save. 8 5-up saves to make on the storm.
That is not...
Dead storm.
Does it explode?
Storm doesn't go boom, and now putting models out within 3 inches of that, it's going to be interesting. It turns out only the Sergeant manages to clamber out of the wreckage there, so that was the advantage of putting them up there. Couldn't assault you, but the disadvantage is placing them if they blew up. I only just realised that after I shot you. That's the thing.
Does he die?
Oh yeah. No. He doesn't die. He clambers out. He's a hero. He can slide down that rock pile in a minute. He's also a troop, right?
Yep.
He's got objectives secured, but it happens at the start of the turn. Start of the turn. Okay, so now this Tyranids needs to shoot. I'm going to shoot. I'll shoot the one with the assault cannons now, but I need 6s. It would be 5s, but 6s because you're Raven Guard. I get 1 hit. Target acquired once. Strength 10. It does wound. 5 up save. You fail the save. D6 damage for 5 damage. Is that a dead thing?
It is a dead thing.
Because of my super smite? Because of the power of the hive mind? Does it go kabooey?
No.
No. That's one of the dreadnoughts down. And that is the end of my shooting phase. I have no more gun. So we've got some charges coming up. No casualties taken from Overwatch. I went wheeling in there, and Shrike and the Librarian have heroically intervened. Now, because I declared them as a target charge, even though I could only engage the Ancient, and they've heroically intervened, I can now put some of my attacks on the Libby or on Shrike. Shrike has piled into me, so I'm going to put everything from the Broodlord into that Chapter Master. I want his head. The Broodlord has 6 attacks. He hits on 2s. That's 5 hits. And he's strength 5, so he's wounding on 3s, but he rerolls to wound. Right, that's important because it's AP minus 3, but 6s would be a flat 3 damage. 6s to wound, so I don't get any flat 3 damage. Instead I get all of these, which are D3 damage. So 4 up invulnerable saves. The Iron Halo. Really? You failed every single save.
That's potentially
4d3 damage on Shrike. You wanted him in combat.
But no, not like this. Not like this.
Not like this. Do you want a command point reroll any one of them?
I'm just thinking, he can still kill me with 3 dice.
Yeah.
There's not much more I'm going to use that CP for.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to do it.
Are you going to do it?
No, it's not.
No. 4d3 damage.
4 ones.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That
I did
is
5
him.
damage. Is that him gone?
That is him gone.
Oh, Chapter Master of the Raven Guard falls.
On a 3 up, he gets to attack you.
Does he?
Yeah, he's an infantry model next to the Ancient.
Oh, I like it. Please roll a 3, otherwise it'd be sad. You rolled a 3. Good. Okay, so he gets to strike the Broodlord back. How many attacks does he have?
Well, this is the funny thing on the wording. It says you can only attack once.
A single attack?
Where it says you can attack once.
Yeah, it says fire a weapon or make a single attack. So that's a single attack, which hits on 2s. And he hits, and he wounds on...
He's toughness 5?
Yes,
so
I am.
It's 5s with a reroll.
Come on, Shrike, do some damage.
Nope.
Shrike didn't do any damage. He suffers an ignoble death.
Yeah.
Now you're going to spend... You don't have any command points to interrupt, so now the Gene Stealers are going to nom their way through all of your Hellblasters. I'm hitting on 2s because I'm next to a Broodlord. I would have 4 attacks if there was more than 10, but you've shot a few. So I've only got 3 attacks each. Double checking the rule on that. It says 10 or more models, you get 4 attacks. So that's 40 attacks hitting on 2s versus those Hellblasters. And the Gene Stealers slaughter the Hellblasters with ease. Then the Ancient fights and the Librarian. Librarian striking, he hits on 3s?
Yep.
So that's 3 hits. Is this a 4 sword?
It is.
This is wounding on 4s. And he's re-rolling.
Wounding on 5s.
Wounding on
This
5s, yeah,
user,
of course,
so
yes.
5s rerolling 1s. Nope.
Nothing. And then the Ancient will strike the Broodlord. He's got 4 attacks.
4 attacks, hitting on 2s.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's better than the Librarian. That is comical. 4s to wound. 5s to wound. 2 wounds. 2 4-up saves on the Broodlord. And he makes them both. Now we double check the Ancient hits on 3s, but he missed. Nothing happened there. And that's the end of the fight phase, and I'm spending 3 command points on Adrenaline Surge. The Broodlord, pumped up with energy after killing the Chapter Master of the Raven Guard, is now going to direct all his attacks into the Librarian. Snuff out this psychic signature. Hitting on 2s. 5 hits, and wounding on 3s, and re-rolling to wound. So that many at -3. So 5 6-up saves, because Libby doesn't have...
4 6-up saves.
Oh yeah, 4 6-up saves.
But it's not going to make a difference anyway.
Didn't make a save there. And then 4d3 damage. We have a dead Librarian. And that leaves me with 1 command point left, and the Raven Guard with none, and that's the end of Tyranids turn 3. Shrike is gone, the Primaris Librarian is gone, the Hellblasters are gone, the Landspeeder Storm has been taken out, the Keras Assault Pattern Contemptor Mortis Dreadnought has gone. A significant punch. Highfleet Kraken deep in the Raven Guard lines. Will they be able to rescue Outpost 72? It's looking like a long shot, but let's go on to Raven Guard. Turn 3. Here we are after the Raven Guard movement phase. In turn 3, they have 3 points in this game of Beachhead. I have 4, and the Storm that was up there advanced all the way down onto here. He thought about not advancing and leaving it up here to throw some shots down, but then there'd be a lot of auto-hitting flamers from the Pyrovores, and we saw what happened to the last one. So he decided to advance it over the wall, so my Pyrovores cannot smack into it. Now, there's a lot of little bugs to get through here next turn and start stealing points, which are worth 3 points a shot. And I am objective secured, but the scouts in there have got objective secured as well, so that is going to be interesting. Meanwhile, back in the castle, back where the Raven Guard started, we have 1 Landspeeder break left, 1 Landspeeder break right, leaving the Broodlord exposed, and the Lieutenant with the Teeth of Terror standing there to mop him up if he survives the firepower. Meanwhile, the Ancient has fallen back out of combat with the Broodlord, and Nick reminded me that he was the Warlord, not Shrike. And I completely forgot, because, you know, Shrike is normally the Warlord, but that banner must not fall. So he's staying there, ready and shouting orders to the Raven Guard. So the Raven Guard just 1 point behind. Oh, and the Hero Sergeant's dropped down and moved forward. So at the start of my turn, I will not score that objective there because that's a troop. So objective secured. So I won't be getting that one. So that was good play. Very good play. He's dead next turn. Obviously, he had to advance to get there. But yeah, stopping me rack up these points. There's a chance yet for the Raven Guard. So let's go on to the shooting phase. Opening up the shooting phase, the snipers who took out the Neurothreat last turn are picking on the Broodlord. 5 shots, hitting on 3s. Only 2 hits. No rerolls now. Wounding on 5s. No wounds there. Sniper rounds go wide. Next up, the Contemptor levels its las cannons at the Broodlord, hitting on 3s because he's a bit injured. 2 hits. Strength 9, your wound on 3s. 1 wound. I need a 5-up in Vun, which is cocked as hell, which I fail. D6 damage on the Broodlord for 3 damage. He's only got 2 left. That makes things very interesting. Next up, Nick has some options. He can fire these Typhoons downtown into the stuff back here and start weakening up the Tervagon or these Venom Thropes, but he's deciding to clear away the Gene Stealers. So this Typhoon that hopped over here is firing its missile launchers and heavy bolter into the Gene Stealers. What are we firing first?
I'm going to go for the frag first.
Frag on the Gene Stealers.
4.
8 missiles, hitting on 4s because it's heavy. That's okay. Oh, that's only 3 hits. Wounding on 4s. That isn't okay. Sorry.
That's 3 wounds.
3 wounds. 3 5-up in Vuns, which are fail all, and Catalyst on the Gene Stealers. You kill 2. That's okay. 2 missiles, crack missiles, would have only managed to kill 2. Heavy bolters.
I need 1 more shot.
1 more shot. 2 hits. Wounds on 3s.
That's what you get for forgetting.
They both wound. 5-up. And 5-up. Okay, you kill 3 Gene Stealers with that Typhoon, which leaves 7 Gene Stealers left. Now the other Typhoon is doing the same thing. There's fragrant missiles.
Yep.
Okay, so 6 shots, hitting on 4s because it's heavy. 3 hits again. 4s to wound. 2 wounds, 2 5-ups. I make 1 and 5-up Catalyst. And I make the frag missiles just explode harmlessly in amongst them. Heavy bolters, only 1 hit. And it doesn't wound. So no more wounds coming in on the Gene Stealers. The Lieutenant's chucking the grenade in on the Gene Stealers, hitting on a 3. And misses. And that's the end of the shooting phase, because the scout down here advanced, the speeder's advancing over there. Just clearing away a few Gene Stealers. So now we're onto the charge phase. Where is your lieutenant going, sir?
I think there's only one place, and that's into the Broodlord.
Not the Gene Stealers?
No.
Okay, let's see how far he goes. He makes it in there with the Teeth of Terror. So lieutenants have 3 attacks. And he's D3 with the Teeth of Terror. So he's got 5 attacks, and they hit on 2s. Teeth of Terror strength 5. So 4 hits, wounding on 4s. Rerolling 1s because he's lieutenant. Reroll that 1. Okay, so 3 get through, 3 5 up invulnerable saves, and the Teeth of Terror relic does 2 damage. So I need to make all of these. And I make 2. I fail 1. I've got a command point left. I don't think I need it. I think I've got all those Gene Stealers there still, and they're going to cause you some trouble. So I'll let that lieutenant take out the Broodlord. Or rather, I'll try not to get a cheeky command point reroll. Anyway, that's the end of Raven Guard turn 3. It is 4 points to Kraken, 3 points to the Raven Guard. We're about to go into Kraken's turn 4, and I'll get a point for this objective here. So at the start of turn 4, it'll be 5 points to the Tyranids, 3 points to the Raven Guard, and we are stretched all the way across this battle grid. But I've lost a significant amount of punch. I'm beginning to lose my Psychers. I've only got 2 Synapse creatures left. So I guess the Gene Stealers have only one way to go to continue to push forward. So let's go on to Tyranids, turn 4. Here we are after Kraken's movement phase. The Gene Stealers press the advantage up inside the Raven Guard's lines, and the Tervagon coming forward, ready to take on that hero lieutenant there. Back towards the centre, I realised I was outside of Synapse range with my Synaptic Linchpin. So he hopped up and over, and then the Venom Thropes hopped up and over, surrounding him, listening to the will of the hive mind. And the Carnufex had to shuffle forward, which means now I'm hitting on 6s, but I couldn't see that speeder. And I need to take it out. Troops in there, they must die. So let's go on to the psychic phase. Nice, quick and simple. Catalyst on this big thing here because it's about to get lit up by las cannons next turn. Catalyst on the Tervagon. I need a 6. That passes. And then try and smite this sergeant. And that fails. Okay. Over here the Tervagon will do smite on your lieutenant. And that passes for D3 wounds for only 1 wound. Right, shooting phase. Stinger Salvo erupted out on the lieutenant, did no damage. Lots and lots of shots from here bounced up and clattered off the steel hide of the Landspeeder Storm, doing no damage at all. Let's go back across to the Pyrovores. Going to try and burn away this hero sergeant down there. He's got to die. I can't have him score that. Number of auto hits, only 6. Strength 5, 3s to wound. That's 5 wounds at -1, but +1 because of the cover. So 5 4-up saves. He nearly passes it. Just on 1 wound remaining. He falls, no command points left. And then the last thing left to fire, Rupture Cannon from the Tyranids. It moved, so it only gets 3 shots. 6s to hit the storm. And 1 hit. I need it's toughness 5, you say? So I need a 2. And it wounds at -3, so you don't get a save. It does d6 damage, but that thing's got 7 wounds, so I can't kill it. 6. It's got 1 wound left. Then the Stinger Salvo from the Carnufex hits on 6s. 2 hits. It's strength 5. No wounds. And that's the end of my shooting phase. Right, let's do some charges. We're gonna charge in with the little bugs down here. Charge in with the Gene Stealer, the Trigon, and that's it. Charges on the right flank into the remaining Raven Guard lines, charging on the storm down here. After the charge phase, the Hormagaunts and the Termagants surround the Landspeeder Storm. Didn't lose any casualties to Overwatch. Over here, the Trigon tripped on its shoes and rolled Snake Eyes, and he's in a crater, so he couldn't make the charge with the Lieutenant, so I had to spend my very last command point to get in on the charge. And only 6 Gene Stealers made it into the Scouts and the Ancient because a couple got cut down with Overwatch. So we'll start up here. What I'm going to do is put 3 of the Gene Stealers into your Warlord, the Ancient, and the other 3 into the Scouts. First against the Scouts, hitting on 3s, and I get 4 hits. Strength 4 with Rending Claws. So one of them dies because it's AP -4, and these 2 are AP -1.
So 5 ups. So that's 3 in total.
3 Scouts fall, and then the remaining 9 attacks into your Ancient, hitting on 3s. That was 7 hits, wounding on 4s. Only get 2 wounds. 2 wounds at AP -1. The Ancient, your Warlord, will live.
Lose a wound.
Of course, the Gene Stealers consolidating onto that after that combat towards the objective. Now the Tervagon has 3 attacks. She hits on 4s versus the Lieutenant, so 2 of them hit, and she's going to wound on, she's strength 7, so she's going to wound on 3s. I get 1 wound through. No, wound on 3s. I get no wounds through. No wounds through. The Lieutenant will live. This does D6 damage a time at -3, so he's lucky. So let's go down to the last combat over here. All of these bugs try and scritch the paintwork off of this land speeder storm. There's 12 Hormagaunts there, so that's 24 attacks hitting on 4s. And with the Scything Talons, I re-rolled hit rolls of 1. I managed to get 12 hits through, but I'm strength 3, so I need 5s to wound. But I got a lot of wounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I managed to get 6 wounds through. 6 4-up saves on the storm. It fails only 1, which means it blows up on a 6. And it doesn't blow up. The storm crumples. And now you have to disembark within 3 inches. And because no units could be deployed within 3 inches by keeping an inch away from the enemy model because it surrounded it, the troops inside are dead. They're dragged down as they come scrambling out of the wreckage. Some free kills there, and a sad day for those Raven Guard scouts. So now we're over here, and these units get to fight back. The Ancient versus the Gene Stealers. So 3 attacks or 4 attacks in on 3s.
4 attacks in on 3s.
Nice.
4s.
He does 2 wounds. 2 5-up and Vuns. And 2 Gene Stealers die. And now the Scout Sergeant and the Scout can fight back.
So the Scout Sergeant has a chainsword.
Yes.
So 2 hits.
Yes.
And 2 wounds.
2 more wounds. 1 more dies. That's 3 dead. Any more attacks?
Not from over there.
I just realised that 3 Scouts died. On 3s, they're next to an Ancient. Would have they been able to fight back when they died?
Yes.
Because of the banner thing.
Yeah.
So roll 3 3-ups. And 2 of them would have been able to fight as they died, which hits on 3s. And wounds on 4s. No.
The dice got the same though.
Only 3 Gene Stealers left. Maybe I should put Catalyst on them instead of her. Anyway, Hero Sergeant, still standing, swinging back at the Tervagon. Number of additional attacks for 2 more. So 5 more attacks with the Teeth of Terror. Hits on 2s. And wounds on 5s now.
Rerolling once.
Alright, 3 wounds get through at -2. So 3 5-up saves. I make 1, and that's 4 damage with the Teeth of Terror, so 4 Catalyst saves. And I make 2 of them. She takes 2 more wounds, down to 11 left. And that's the end of the fight phase. We have no leadership tests to make on the Scouts. They're in range of the banner. And that's it for Tyranids turn 4. The Tyranids are 1 point in the lead, but the Raven Guard were sent here to relieve this outpost, and they will fight on. Let's go on to Raven Guard turn 4. Here we are after the Raven Guard movement phase. When I consolidated in with the Gene Stealers, I made sure I was within 3 inch range of that objective there, so it's still 5 points to Crack and 4 points to the Raven Guard. The Lieutenant has broken free from Big Bertha for Tervagon, jumping over there, leaving that Contemptor Dreadnought with a straight shot trying to take her out. The Scouts have fallen back, but kept within 3 inches of the objective to score it in the next turn. The Ancient wasn't engaged in combat, he killed everyone around him. Basically I pulled from this side to make sure I was contesting that objective there, so he's free to fire. And the Typhoons have stayed still, ready to unload their payload. So let's go into the shooting phase and see what they can take down. Opening up the shooting phase, las cannons, point blank into the Tervagon. 3 hit and 3s to wound. 2 wounds. So I need 2 6-up saves. I failed both of them, and this will do 2d6 damage for 10 damage. I have Catalyst on Big Bertha. 5-up, ignore wounds. I ignore a chunk of them. The Tervagon's got 4 wounds left. Now the Ancient is going to rapid fire his bolt rifle into the Gene Stealers and hit once and doesn't wound. Oh no.
Okay, moving on.
Yep.
Missiles into Big Bertha.
Okay.
Heavy bolter into the Gene Stealers.
Alright, okay, nice.
So, heavy bolter first, hitting on 3s.
Only 1 hit.
And then 3s again.
And that does wound. 5-up? Nope. Down to 2 Gene Stealers left.
And then the missiles, hitting on 3s. 1 hit.
1 hit.
4s?
Toughness 8, yeah. Strength 8, toughness 8. That's wounds. It's -2, so 5-up. And I make the save. Across the right flank, this Typhoon is going to put its missiles into the Pyrovores and the Heavy Bolters into the Gene Stealers over here. It stays still, so hitting on 3s with the Heavy Bolter. All 3 hit. Winning on 3s. 2 wounds, 2 5-up and vuns. And I fail. Those Gene Stealers are finally brought down. Cleared the castle, except for the Tervagon. 2 missiles into the Pyrovores.
Crack, by the way.
Crack, yeah. 1 hit. Strength 8 versus toughness 8. That's a wound. They only have a 4-up save, so this becomes a 6-up save, which I fail, and it does d6 damage for 3 damage. They have 4 wounds each, I'm afraid. 1 is left on 1 wound. And that's the end of Raven Guard turn 4. No charges coming up, so we're about to head to the end game to turn 5. And at the start of turn 5, I'll get a point for my objective and 2 points for that objective there, making it 8 points to 4. Let's go on to Hive Fleet Krakens, turn 5. It's 8 points to 4. The hive mind has cleared away this outpost that they've been feasting in. All the corpses here will not be rescued by the Raven Guard. And so my synaptic linchpin has called the retreat. I've pulled the Tervagon back. I'm double teaming the objective in the middle of the table. And I put Catalyst on the Tervagon, and then shots from the Tyranids went downtown into this storm, but missed because I'm hitting on 6s. Stinger Salvo leapt through the air, put 1 wound on the Dreadnought, and that's the end of my turn. But the Raven Guard do not know the meaning of defeat, and we're moving on to Raven Guard, turn 5. At the start of their turn, the Raven Guard score a point, making it 8 points to 5 for holding on to their objective. This Typhoon stays still. The Lieutenant with the Teeth of Terror comes busting around the outcrop in the middle of the battle grid. So does the Typhoon. Let's go on to the shooting phase. Then the remainder of the Raven Guard army unleashed. The Typhoon, the Contempt of the Scouts, in on the Pyrovores and the Venom Thropes. Killed a chunk of them, but not enough gun. 1 Pyrovore still stood on this objective here. The Venom Thrope is still going strong. That's the end of the shooting phase. And now the hero lieutenant is attempting a charge.
I'm actually out line of sight of the Pyrovore.
Yeah, so he cannot do Overwatch.
Yeah,
definitely out of line of sight, which will take me off of that objective.
Or I can go for your Warlord.
Or you can go for the Warlord. Go for the glory kill.
I'm going to go for the Warlord.
Okay.
At this point in the game, it's a very slim chance of me actually coming back, even if it goes to turn 7.
So for glory, for honour, 7-inch charge. And he's in. Right, let's see if this lieutenant can take down my Warlord. He gets D3 extra attacks with the Teeth of Terror for the big 3. So that's 6 attacks. Hitting on 2s. And he rolls 2 1s. But he's strength 5 versus toughness 4, so he'd be winning on 3s. And rerolling the 1. And each does 2 damage. I have a 3-up invulnerable save. And I take 4 wounds, and they start off with 5. My Warlord is alive on 1 wound left, and he strikes you back, and wounds on a 4, and wounds. And wounds the lieutenant, but he does not fall. And then the player who went first rolls a dice, and the game will end on a 1-2. That's cocked. Let's do that again. And the game ends. This is the way the world ends. And so the game ends. 8 points to the Tyranids, 5 points to the Raven Guard. The lieutenant stepping up to the plate, trying to do all he can at the end, but not being able to take the synaptic linchpin of Hive Fleet Kraken down. And what a game. I thought it was done for at the very start with the aggressors and the Hellblasters and the stuff, but somehow was it the game? What happened there? What are your thoughts? Was it the game type you were playing?
Teeth. No. It's interesting because there is a lot of teeth to this list.
Yeah.
And it just got up in my grill.
So just push the pressure forward. Losing those aggressors at the start, it was a bit painful, but they did some damage even before I managed to get up there with the ancient thing. I think your list is excellent. I think it's got some punch. I think it's got some backfield firepower. Yeah, maybe it was the game type. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
Suits this type of list, this swarm list.
It's very interesting the fact that you score the points at your next turn.
It does. It makes you think.
Yeah. And the amount of bodies that Marines have in comparison to a Horde army.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting going forward to see how the meta changes and how people adapt to it. Is it going to go all Horde, or is it going to...
So, do you think these Eternal War missions prefer the Horde type of play? Because the points changes certainly prefer bigger weapons and stompier and munchier creatures.
Well, you say that, it just means you get more bodies.
That's true.
Or if you've already had things in your list that are getting cheaper,
that's true.
It just means you can take more bodies. And now with objective secured now actually being very key,
yeah.
I've only got 3 troop units in this list.
Yeah.
Of which 2 are mobile.
Yeah. Land speeders though, they're back. How did your land speeders do?
The fact that the mobility I think helped because I could escape the Gene Stealers.
Yeah. Both of the Typhoons are untouched at the end of the game. And they did some work. They put some damage downfield, and they're not as expensive. I mean, they were over 110 points, 120 points beforehand.
Over 130.
Over 130.
Yeah.
Which is just stupid. How much are they now?
Just under 100.
Under 100. That's a significant change.
Yeah.
I might actually get mine painted up.
Land speeders. Yeah, I mean, my Dreadnought's always the MVP.
Him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still alive at the end.
Just.
Yeah, land speeders. See, the thing about land speeders is they've got heavy weapons, so as soon as they move, they're hitting on force. And I really think they should be a mobile firing platform, so they should be able to move and fire, hitting on 3s. But it is what it is. At least they're cheaper now.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you start giving them immune to negatives to fire,
yeah,
where do you stop? Because there's other things that are meant to be gun platforms.
Yeah.
So what's the point of the heavy weapon type?
Yeah, that's true. If you give it to Dreadnoughts as well, if you give it to Terminators as well, then, you know, you might as well just give everything the assault weapon type. So I can see why they've done it. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it was a victory for Hive Fleet Kraken. The Raven Guard could not oust them from this installation that they took. Maybe we'll see them come back. Maybe they'll attack from another angle. So thank you so much to Nick for coming down. You are legend. Last few shout outs. Battle Mat from Hot Dice Miniatures. Terrain from GameMat.eu. And this outpost down here from laserterrain.co. If you want to listen to some more Winter's SEO battle reports, plus Tactica, plus sit and talks, plus a narrative campaign, then I encourage you to join us in the Deployment Zone at deploymentzone.tv. In the meantime, thank you everyone for watching. Happy wargaming.